Woke and Broke Conservative Commentary with Ron Vugada is here again to piss more people off. And who is my focus tonight? Colored people. And when I say colored people, I'm talking about black people, Hispanics, who else? Anybody who feels as though there is a systemic racism going on in America that is keeping white people ahead and keeping everyone else who isn't 100% pure European white in the dust, in the shadows. We can't do anything in life until white people do what they have to do first. For people who think like that, I'm going to piss you off in this video. I understand that I have a very straightforward, radical, as some people may view it, way of delivering my message, but this is my thing. I'm not really here to educate people. I'm really here to just simply say the facts and say the truth, because there's a lot of misinformation going on the Democrat side. And my issue isn't with black Democrats. My issue is with white Democrats who are feeding black people and all colored people this idea that, oh, you need government handouts, you need Medicaid, you need food stamps, because simply these Republicans want to snatch all that away from you. So we need to, keep feeding you this idea that unless us white Democrats are in power, in positions of power to control America, then there is no fate for you.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man.
Yeah. He's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
I'm going to call anybody who believes in white supremacy, systemic racism stupid, because it simply is a stupid idea. If we take another black person and if we take me and put the same white person, let's just use Donald Trump. If we put Donald Trump in a room with me and a BLM radical leftist, why is it that the radical leftists will automatically view everything that happens in this exchange as racist, whereas me, a Filipino African American, because again, you know what? Fuck these black people and these ideas, the Democratic black people. Fuck these black people trying to tell me who I can and cannot be. I'm also Filipino. I'm not just black, and I'm not finna sit here and just keep dismissing my Filipino side to fit this narrative that, you know what, I'm black, and for me to be accepted, and then to be even accepted as black, there's all of these levels to it, to where, oh, if you do this more than this, then you're more blacker than I am, because your level of blackness is on here, my level of blackness is on here because I'm half Filipino, or because I speak well, or because I have a driver's license. I really don't know. It's like black people have this thing where whoever is the most oppressed in life and can come up as quick and obtain this crabs in a bucket mentality, that means that you are truly the blackest of all blackness, and we should respect you. No way, Jose.
I want to talk to you about something that I got into like an argument with people today, and it was over the idea of mixed people and black people. And let me tell you something. Mixed people are not black. And I'm tired of people referring to them as black.
One thing that people love to talk about when it comes to systemic racism is history. Well, let's give you guys a quick rundown on history. A Democratic president is the one who brought Jim Crow laws into law.
Woodrow Wilson grew up in the South. By any measure, Woodrow Wilson was a racist. He introduced Jim Crow to Washington, D.C. At a time when it was just starting to loosen up, he brought it back, and it became, for all intents and purposes, the law of the land.
Jim Crow laws were started by a Democratic president. So the permanent holding back of people of color is because of Democrats, but yet systemic racism is built and ran off of Republicans. The redlining of states that determines what schools children will go to are started by Democrats. when the Civil War began, no Republican had a damn slave. Democrats still held slaves at the beginning of the Civil War. So what exactly are people talking about when they say, well, we need to go back through the history and, fact check all of these points about you, Ron, because you are representing a party who sits here and is white supremacy, traditional, and wants to Bible thump everybody in their face. Well, this is my thing. If you go back through the history, it is your Democratic leaders who are sitting here fucking your people up. No one on this world can now tell me that Jesus Christ was a black man, because do I really want to sit here and believe that Jesus Christ sat here and said, before I down this cross, let me think about all the bullshit these people have done to me. Let me think about all the times they kicked me and laughed at me in my face and called me dumb and doubted me. And now here I am. I have to sacrifice myself for these same people. Let's bring this up. I truly believe that this whole racism issue just needs to drop dead. I'm probably going to be the only person on the internet who feels like racism can just be dropped dead as far as people being brainwashed to believe in it. The same way I sat up here and just dropped dead my experience with racism is the same way I feel like everyone else can drop dead with their experience with racism and take control of their own mind and their own thoughts.
Why do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed.
My thing is why is it that people have this issue to want to be victims and to want to feel like the best they can do in life is to receive Medicaid? The best they can do in life is to get Section 8 and food stamps. And why do so many black people find it offensive when I sit here and say, you don't need Section 8, you don't need food stamps? When I thought everyone knew that if you want to get real factual, Caucasians hold more in government assistance than black people. One thing that I realize is that I do have the blessing to say the things that I want to say with facts and to say how I feel truly without giving a fuck about how people feel about me. And you want to know why that is? Because if I sit here and say black people can do better, black people need to get their fucking ass up and fucking work, black people need to, and because this is my thing. If we're going to talk about systemic racism, then let's talk about the facts about the black culture. If white people are on a rampage to delete black people, then why is no one saying anything to these rap artists, Drake, Lil Durk, Future? Why is no one saying anything to these rap artists about how they're promoting gun violence? It doesn't make sense to me how we want to preach white supremacy and, be fearful of white people and basically every other race, Asians and all that. Oh, we walk into a Asian store, then we have to deal with the fact that they're going to be walking up behind us because they're going to think that we steal. Well, it's no different than you sitting here walking around white people thinking that they're going to call you a NIGGER and hang you up by your neck. That's no different. It's no different than when you see a Hispanic and you change your dialect to be like, oh, can you understand me? I want 2 tacos. Is that not racist? As if Hispanics cannot speak English? Is it not racist that when we go to these Asian places, our impression of them is, oh, bitch, all you can do is do my nails and do my feet and cook my Chinese food, fried rice? Is that not racist? But everything that happens to a black person is racist. If we sit here and get followed in the store, well, how about this? If we're going to place fixated notions on people, then you can't get mad that a fixated notion on you is placed upon your life. Because again, you're probably pulling up to Target and Walmart blasting, I'm F-R-E-E, fuck nigga free. You're probably pulling up to your goddamn church talking about certified freak 7 days a week, wet ass pussy. You're probably pulling up to goddamn Kroger talking about he want a F-R-E-A-K, and then you want to get mad that I look at you in a lower class way. I'm just going to be honest, because again, if I was a white person saying all this, I'll automatically be labeled as racist. But because I'm Filipino and African, it's hard to put that racism label because it's just the truth. I shouldn't have a reason to feel scared or fearful that I have to walk around black ass neighborhoods wondering if somebody's gonna rob me, wondering if somebody's gonna goddamn put a gun to my head. But if I sit here up here and walk around in these white people neighborhood, which are not even white people neighborhoods, they're just neighborhoods that are more safely secure with police enforcement, which is why I don't understand why people want to sit here and talk about defund the police. I understand the true origins of defunding the police was to sit here and redirect police pay into prevention. But here's my thing on preventing crime. How about you teach your children to sit here and not be cussing people out, not to the first thing to do to someone if they offend you is to cuss them out and fight them and call up their homeboys to come and jump you. How about if they see something on Facebook, on social media, we don't get mad. We don't say, oh, you know what, bitch, I'm about to pull up on you. How about you teach your children to have some fucking common sense and to do good in school? And that also includes you, because how do you teach them? You be the person that they're going to emulate. If you're a single mom, you need to put your fucking baby daddy on child support and force him to get a fucking job. And if you're a man, you need to stop shooting up the club in these women's bodies and then running off, expecting them to handle everything. And then you just want to pop up in the key significant moments of your child's life, knowing that you did not contribute anything to their success. Instead of defunding the police to quote unquote redirect into prevention, which we all know what that means when Democrats want to propose things that are going to redirect, they're going to redirect it straight into their bank accounts. It's still not going to get redirected into this whole prevention type situation. The true prevention is, how about having some common sense? How about knowing that if you're not going to be able to take care of your child, put a fucking condom on your dick and then have sex. Don't sit here and then as a woman complain and cry because, oh, I laid up with a man and I don't know if he gonna help step up to the plate, and now I gotta be a single full-time mom and dad. Now I can't even help my child with their academics because I have to sit up here and get 2 or 3 jobs while my man sits here and fucks everybody in the neighborhood and sells dope and drugs and teaches my child that the only thing that should be okay is that you aren't homosexual and is that you aren't hanging with these white people, because these white people that keep putting my ass in jail are the reason why I can't be in your life. No, the reason why, and I guess it goes back generations to generation, and I understand that people want to focus on, oh, that's why we need to learn the history. But why, when I present the history and the facts, people still are looking like, well, even though Ron Vugata, you say that Democrats are the ones who put Jim Crow laws into legalization, I'm still going to sit here and support Democrats. Fuck them Republicans. Even though, Ron, you said that Democrats are the people who made it a law to redline communities that will force your child. Even though I may be across the street from you, I would be determined to go to the best school in Alabama. And you being across the street from me in a whole different redlined area, you're now subject to the poorest of poorest schools. Again, Democrats propose that. Why is it that when I bring these factual informations, people are still like, well, I don't know what to say about that because white people are still holding me back. If you feel like white people are holding you back, then this is my ultimate question to you. I wouldn't want anyone in the world to live an inhumane experience or to live a life that they're truly not going to be satisfied with, because you only have one life to live. If you're truly upset about how your treatment in America is, then I have a couple of questions for you, actually. Question one, why don't you just move your ass back to Africa, which you never came to Africa? So again, I guess you can't move back to where you never came from, but you guys want to keep preaching, oh, my African ancestors, my Hispanic ancestors, my Chinese ancestors. Why is it that when one group gets targeted for slanderous behavior, such as Asians or Latinos, they are quick to, or even Indians, they're quick to rally together and defend their community? Why is it that if there's so much racism going on, why is it that black people not only accept all of this slanderous terminology that I don't know where it's coming from, but all of this slanderous terminology that other races are saying to us, not only do we accept it, but we propagate it to our own people at the same time by saying in songs and by saying on Facebook and Twitter that the best you can be is a fucking stripper, that the best you can be is sticking a dick up your ass on OnlyFans and Twitter, and then you want me to feel sorry for you because you made that decision to not be anything. It's not my fault that even though, yes, as a Black American that you did go to college, but it's not my fault that no one told you maybe you shouldn't have gotten a psychology degree, because again, who needs a fucking psychology degree? Are you going to give me retina surgery with your psychology degree? No, you're not going to do anything but sit here and try to regurgitate something out of a textbook, which everyone has a problem with the information presented, but yet no one is doing anything about it to actually fact check and learn the truth. Why not take your refund check since that's all you're good for? And you know, it's not all that you're good for. These are things that you say. If we're going to bring up things out the air that white people say, I'm going to bring up things that I know that Black people say. If you're going to get that refund check that's going to hit in between January and April, and because a lot of people don't have time to wait, they're going to get that bitch in February probably. Why don't you take that refund check to go move to Africa, to your motherland? We are in an age where Black people now are the most free and liberated ever in history, but also at like the most pussies and bitches that I've ever seen in my life. My issue again is not with Black Democrats, it's with white Democrats, because again, Black people, for whatever reason, who are so woke, who are so in the know of their cultural and of their heritage, but yet you keep re-electing white people that are telling you what your experience of Blackness is, that you only deserve food stamps, that you only deserve Section 8.
Do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America. What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education. That's what I opposed.
Well,
I
there
did
was
not
a
oppose.
failure of states to integrate public schools in America.
If people want to make me a Republican, a Filipino African American Republican, the problem, then they need to make Cardi B the problem. They need to make Nicki Minaj the problem. They need to make who else is a problem? Who else is a problem? There's a whole bunch of problems. The people who are doing these reality TV shows, promoting the wrong bullshit on our youth. If there's a problem with me coming in my video saying that the answer to uplifting the colored community is by, one, if we're going to go to college, let's pick degrees that are going to mean something. Let's get lawyers. Let's get doctors. You can't tell me that, oh, we're so oppressed, but you're going to go spend all your money at university to become a psychologist. You can't tell me that's oppression. You can't tell me that simply because your parents didn't do what they had to do before having 50 babies out the womb and now making you one of the 50 babies who have to struggle and strife. You can't tell me that because they chose to sit here and have all these kids with no financial plan on how to support them, that racism exists. I'll say this, racism exists because bad people in general exist, but racism is not just an American issue. There's racism in China. There's racism in Russia. There's racism in Africa. I don't know why people think that racism is just an American thing. There's colorism all around the world. There is plastic surgeryism going on all around the world. Well, someone is going to say, well, that's white supremacy. Well, you know what I have to say about white supremacy and people who believe in that and who move along the lines of white supremacy. I think you're pretty weak fucking minded to base your lifestyle and to base all of your decisions and to think that all of your decisions are limited because of this fixed matrix that we're living in, where white people excel and everyone else of color plateaus. Because in my eyes, my American dream is very much true and obtainable. In my eyes, I will judge everyone equally. I'm not looking at a white person thinking they're going to hang me by my neck by the time dusk comes. I'm not looking at a black person thinking, oh, a black person is my savior to feeling comfortable and feeling safe. Because if I walk my ass through a black ass neighborhood, I'm going to get gunned down and robbed. all these rappers that are dying. Oh, I didn't know that white people were killing them. I thought there were black people killing Young Dolph, Takeoff. I thought there were black people, I thought it was black fathers who were abandoning their significant others and their children in the home to dip their dick in 20 other coochies and to populate the whole world. But then again, we're just gonna blame it on systemic racism. I thought with I called the police because someone put a gun to my head, which I have done before, and I won't be surprised if at some point in life someone finds that 911 audio call where I was calling for screaming for my life because these group of men, black men, were riding in a truck trying to gun me down in this black ass neighborhood. I'm gonna account that to white supremacy because somewhere in their lineage a white person fucked their blood up and now it has led to them running around trying to kill me. That's a white person's problem. I'm not sitting here making a video talking about, white people this, white people that, because white people are not the issue. Black people are the issue. Will I ignore the fact that slavery didn't have consequences? Yes, because it divided the family. But who is out here now in the most freest time in the whole entire world, or at least in America, because you could be in North Korea right now. You could be in Russia or China being told what to think and how to believe. If I was to sit here and believe that there is a problem, my answer would be that it's not that we need to have a discussion with white people because they're going on with their lives. Jewish people are going on with their lives. Asian people are going on with their lives. Black people aren't. There needs to be a discussion between other black people.
The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
Woke and Broke conservative commentary with Ron Vugato. I actually have one more thing I want to say before. I thought I was done, but I actually got one more think piece for black people. If we want to sit here and say that white supremacy is real, then this is my thing. A white person never came up to me and punched me or have turned my business down because I'm a black person. None of my white bosses have never made me feel less than my white counterparts simply because of my skin color. Black people have sat here and trained each other to believe that based on skin color, we are less than. And if you want to sit here and say that, oh, well, because of my skin color, I'm less than, then that's your own mental issue. That's your own mental instability to believe that, because even though, yes, like all other black people, I've been taught that Republicans are the problem and Democrats are the way. Barack Obama was the way. Even though he defunded goddamn HBCUs, Barack Obama is the way. Even though when I walk down streets, 2 different goddamn men, black men, have held guns to my faces. But yet, black people are still the way and white people aren't. I never had a white person hold a gun to my face. I never had a white person tell me I'm too black or I'm too dark skinned. Stay out the sun before you get too dark. I have had black people tell me that. I've had black people tell me that, oh, I'm bougie because I read books. I aim to increase my vernacular every single day that I'm alive. Oh, I'm trying to be like them white people. How about I'm just trying to be an intellectual who wants to, in every way explain how I feel in the best and most versatile way. If you don't get it in this terminology, I can give it to you in this terminology. My existence is not contingent upon this white matrix blue pill that people are under. I'm not sitting here thinking, is it wrong for me that when I have kids, I'm not going to teach them that white people are superior and that they have to work extra hard as colored babies because their white counterparts are going to surpass them? Is it racist that I'm not going to teach my kids that, but my kids will meet people who are their age who are going to be taught that, oh, white people are the problem?